Yeah, when he took that out of the package, it has this special wrapping that's really all garbage. Like those blue caps are actually garbage that you throw in the garbage. And they look so fancy, you think that they're meant to serve a purpose, but they're not. They just keep the humidifier in place while it's being transported.
Basically, you just want to remove all those caps first. Push back out, it'll just slide into place. This is for the water bag. You want sterile water? Should I open it?
Mm-hmm. You want me to open it?
And you're going to want to plug it in so there's power.
So we don't put actual water in the Fisher Pack kettle, it comes from a bag.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
And this is sterile water, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
It says sterile water for injection, but at the hospital, they get the sterile water for inhalation that we use. Water is water. This might be a little more expensive, but it's the same as far as breathing it in. Well, we're going to talk you through everything. So
Okay.
first it says to plug the humidifier into an electrical outlet. We did that, right?
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Add the Fisher Paykel water chamber to the humidifier by sliding it into place. We did that. Remove the caps from the top. We did that. Connect the tubing to a bag of water.
And it's best to hold it this way and then put it in so nothing spills out. So just stick it in. Turn it upside down. That's going to fill. And the water's just going to go to the line.
Oh yeah, you see it filling?
Mm-hmm.
Now, when you look inside the water chamber, I'll pass this around so you can take a close look at it. There's a blue float and then this big bulky white float. So you can pass it around and take a look at it. It tells you that the blue float controls the water level and the white float is a backup float in case the blue float malfunctions. So if there was a malfunction of both of those floats, all that water from the bag would go inside the humidifier and it can make its way up inside the ventilator and completely ruin the ventilator. So that's why they have that double float in there to be extra safe. Do you see it, Gary? The big bulky white float is just the backup float. As water fills the chamber, it will stop filling when the bottom of the chamber is covered with water. What causes the water to stop filling? Yes, so the float turns off the water that's coming in.
And that would be the blue float.
Yes. Yeah, so what causes the water to stop filling is the float inside the chamber. What is the purpose of the black line on the water chamber? It's to give you a visual of how much water should be in the humidifier.
How much water is in or how much there should be?
It gives you a visual so you can see how much water is in the humidifier. If it's above the black line, that's too much water and the floats are not working properly. In that case, you would take it off and throw it out. No, because the floats should never allow the water to get above those black lines.
So you want the water up to the black line?
Yes, it should never be above, only up to.
Next, we're going to connect the inspiratory and expiratory lines to the humidifier and the ventilator. So, as you can tell, which one's the inspiratory? The blue one, right? Okay. So let's just attach this to the arms.
Yeah, and notice how there's a different color for inspiration and exhalation. Don't let that be the only reason that you say, oh, blue is inspiration. Because a patient at Florida Medical Center, this was years ago when I first started working there, they had the nurses setting up a ventilator on post-op patients. So in the recovery room, the patient comes out of surgery, they're still under the effects of anesthesia. So they put them on a ventilator for a little bit. And the nurses were taught this color tubing goes here and that color tubing goes there. Now they don't get mechanical ventilation. So they're told how to put the tubing on. Well, they switched companies. And now the tubings were different colors and somebody attached a circuit wrong and the patient ended up dying. So after that, of course, it was always respiratory in the recovery room when a patient came out, but somebody had to die for that. So don't always assume a color is inspiration. Look for the whole. Yeah.
So with the inspiratory line, you want to connect the inspiratory to the humidifier and the expiratory to the expiratory side, which is here. You got the arrow going back to the ventilator, so the air's going back in and breathing back out.
Very good, yes. Yeah, if you use an HME with the heated humidifier, that's very dangerous. Because all that humidity builds up in the HME and the patient can't get a breath of air. So, yeah, good question.
And next you want to, there's a special tubing. It's I forgot what it's called.
Yeah, it's just called large bore tubing.
We can connect that to the inspiratory side, push and twist, and also push and twist to the humidifier.
I don't know which side you're going on. If it's going up to the patient.
On the humidifier?
It doesn't really matter.
It doesn't really matter.
This is going to go to the humidifier, and the ZR is going to go to the patient.
And then you're going to write in explain the flow of air, beginning with the ventilator inspiratory port. So you'll write on there that, explain the flow of air, beginning with the ventilator inspiratory port. So air comes out of the ventilator, goes to the humidifier. When it passes the humidifier, of course, it's picking up the heat and humidifier. Then it travels to the patient. On exhalation, you'll mention that it goes to the expiratory tubing to the exhalation valve. I just want to show you this filter because it's so much bigger. This is their expiratory filter.
And of course, we will replace that after every patient.
Yes.
So you don't use these little filters?
No.
That's garbage. We don't clean it. We just replace it.
This one, I think, is disposable, but you have to find out because everyone is different.
Okay.
The 840 looks exactly like this, and it goes down for sterilization. This one, I believe, is disposable, and you throw it out. So that's a big filter.
Mm-hmm.
So when they had the scare from, what was it, the avian flu? Something was here, patients were dying. They wanted to rent these ventilators only because it had such a great expiratory filter so nobody else would be getting contaminated taking care of the patient. Do you know what this is for?
Accumulation of water?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so this has the water trap built in also.
Oh, it has a built-in water trap. Okay.
Okay.
So you're now ready to connect the temperature probes and sensors to the heater wires. They are coded by size and color. So we have the blue one and the yellow one. So first, we're gonna connect the blue one. The blue one is for the temperature cable. So you see these two, blue and yellow. I'm gonna connect the blue, and there are arrows here. You want to line those up with these corners, and just stick it in. No twist or anything. Straight in.
And do the longer one first. Smart.
So here, the inspiratory side has a temperature port. Okay. So you have this long cable. It only has one thing sticking out. So you want to stick that into the temperature port. And push and twist. And you have this. It has two prongs. That's going to go on the exhalation. See
That
here?
one? Should not go on exhalation. No. It should go.
All right. Here, there's a little ridge sticking out. You want to match that ridge. There's a size here. So,
It's like putting a puzzle together.
Right.
So that little triangle shape will fit into the triangle shape on the circuit.
So it's going to measure the temperature of humidity coming out of the Fisher-Paykel, and then measure the temperature going into the person's mouth?
Yes.
Okay.
And you say you want to keep it at least 42? If you keep
42 would kill all the bacteria.
Does it automatically go up to 42? Or whatever the certain temperature, or do you have to set the temperature?
It's going to change depending on the amount of flow going through it. So if the patient has a high minute ventilation, they're breathing a lot, and the air is going through really quick, it's not going to get to 42 degrees. But a slower flow of air going through that, the temperature will get hotter.
So you don't set.
So, but you don't set it. So it's all automatic. It's going to want to maintain 39 degrees right before it goes in the patient, because it knows it's going to cool a little bit when it gets through the endo tube to the patient. So it heats it up to 39 to deliver 37 degrees. But if it's not 39 going to the patient, then that heater will turn on and warm up the water some more.
Okay, so coming out of Fisher-Paykel, it should be 39 degrees. Going into patient's mouth, it should be 37 degrees.
Yes,
It's just a monitor.
it's just a monitor.
And if anything would be lower than it's supposed to,